Hey guys, this is Jose Baeza, and welcome to another episode of the JB Show. Today we have a special guest. Her name's Janera Harvey. And Janera Harvey plays a special role in my heart because not only has she been a great friend, but she's also been a great business associate of mine. And she has a book out that she just recently came out with. And this the name of the book is actually The Sisterhood. And these are journeys of women in entrepreneurship. So it's not just one journey, it's many journeys. And so I wanted to go ahead and invite Janera to really talk to us about what can people expect out of this book, because it's about stories, storytelling. Our life is all about stories, and it's about growing. And so the best way for us to grow is to share our story, but also learn from other people's story, whether it be successful or maybe failures or anything that has to do with learning. We want to go ahead and grow. So nonetheless, I want to go ahead and introduce to you Miss Janera Harvey. So let me go ahead and contact her, and let's have her join our podcast. Hi, Janera. This is Jose. How are you?
Enemy spotted. Moving in.
Happy Saturday.
Happy Saturday. So, hey, you're live here at the JV Show, and I want to thank you first and foremost for taking the time to actually get to talk about your book and some of the other projects. Just went over a couple of things with our audience here, and I just want to welcome you to the JB Show again. And this is an amazing time for us to really reconnect with our audience and really get to see and speak about what is it that you're currently up to.
Well, thank you for having me. I really do appreciate this opportunity.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, one of the biggest things that I want to say, everyone, is that, Janera and I have been in close contact and as friends, and we've referred a lot of deals to each other as well. But it's really about helping others. And, one of the biggest things that you're doing right now is that you just started a book, correct?
That is correct. Yes, I'm actually in pre-launch mode of my book titled The Sisterhood, Journeys of Women in Entrepreneurship. The book actually is a compilation of 17 authors who actually talk about how they got to where they are in their entrepreneurship. Many people want to become entrepreneurs, and they see the pretty stuff, the stuff we post on social media, right. What we look like when we're interacting with people, when it's networking at business meetings. But, a lot of times we don't talk about how we got to that point, or what we went through to get to that point, or what happened in our life that said, hey, I want to start a business in this particular service or product so I can help other people and serve. So in the book, we are raw and uncut, and we talk about what we went through, what led us to, one, decide to become the entrepreneur that we are, and the trials, the tribulations, and what led us to success. So a lot of the stories, especially mine in particular, I talk about how my own trial and tribulation gave me my aha moment to serve and help other women when it comes to them dealing with their personal finances.
Exactly. And tell us a little bit more about your story, Janera. I know that we don't have a lot of time, but I do want you to kind of share a little bit of a glimpse of your story, and I want to encourage everyone that's listening to definitely grab a copy of this book. And throughout the video, there will be links in this video so that you can go ahead and grab a copy yourself. But yeah, tell us a little bit about your story.
Yes. So pretty much my story talks about how I became a money coach. And I pretty much share what I went through as a newly divorced single mom about 20 years ago, and how I went through my money trials, how I misused my money. I had some bad habits, behaviors, how divorce spilled over, and presented itself with financial upsets and, just having a new life of a single mom and trying to figure out how to work my money. And I was picking up some bad behaviors. One of the things that I did, I used to get a lot of payday loans. I wouldn't do that now, and I wouldn't recommend it. Nothing against that business, but I didn't realize how much money I was losing and how it wasn't helping me gain. I was actually losing. So I talk about those pitfalls and how I had to eventually stop and look at myself in the mirror, be honest with myself and say, is this really the right thing that you should be doing for you and your children? And being prideful. I talk about being prideful and not asking for help, carrying around the weight of shame, of going from having money, because before the divorce, I lived a pretty decent life. So I went from having money to struggling and shameful to talk about it, shameful and embarrassed to ask for help and trying to figure it out on my own, which is nothing wrong. But when I did that, I found myself digging myself in a deeper hole, deeper hole than what I needed to be in. And I had to be honest with myself. And I talk about being honest with myself and how the change took place, which led me, once I started making the changes and learning more, I'm like, to be sure, there's other people going through this, right? And I wanted to actually focus on women, because I'm pretty sure there's other professional women out there, whether they're single moms or not, that have these issues behind closed doors that the outside world does not see. So I talk about those things in my chapter.
Right, and that's beautiful and amazing that we all have a story to tell. And that's one of the things like my mentor, Les Brown, says is that we all have a story. And it's about sharing that story, because each of our story will be a blessing to someone that perhaps maybe they're going through something similar, or perhaps maybe they just simply want guidance so that they can avoid a situation like we had to. And in life, in life, there's nothing's going to be perfect. There will be times of tribulation and so forth, but it's all about real life experience and learning from others. That's why I believe so much in reading, because your story is so powerful that is not necessarily just there's so many stories out there, not just yours. And within this book, there's plenty of other powerful stories as well from other ladies that have gone through entrepreneurship situations and so forth. So it is just simply an amazing honor for you to be able to share this with us.
And you said something there. You said, we all go through trials and tribulations. It's so true. And when we're going through it, I call it the valley moments. We're going through those moments, and we think we're alone, and we think nobody else. I don't know why we think those thoughts, but we think nobody else has gone through it. And I think because we think it, and if we release and share it, we're going to be judged, right? And that's something I don't do in my business. I never judge a client. But I said that to say that it was my trial. I had to stop asking myself, why am I going through it? Because I get it now. I went through what I went through, not just to learn, so I can take it and bless other people, especially the women, because I can speak from a place of pain, understanding situations. I can speak to those things and be very honest and transparent, and just be that person of support. For a client coming in.
I believe that. And as an entrepreneur, I can say that this book will provide so much insight, because in my industry, I help entrepreneurs, both men, women, all types of like teens. We get so many different types of individuals looking to start a business. And I believe in really learning how to communicate with others. And the best way for you to communicate with others is to see other people's perspective, really see what they're going through, see how is it that you can solve somebody's problem and solve somebody's issue, because the way that you get ahead in life is by providing value. But value is all relative. Yeah, for sure.
I totally agree. That's right. That's powerful.
Absolutely. And one of the biggest things that I want to say is that when it comes to your story, Janera, it's like we all have a story, as I mentioned earlier. And the more we learn as to how to tell our story, the more we grow ourselves. And yeah, and we get so many insights of being able to not just help others, but also helping ourselves more importantly. And so, I highly recommend checking out this book, because not only will it give us, or will give everybody that's watching this an insight as to how to help other entrepreneurs that maybe going through the same situations, but also as a woman, not that I'm a woman, but as a woman entrepreneur, like they have, like you guys have different challenges that maybe like male entrepreneurs have, and so forth. The same, because I know when I was just barely getting started, I was 18 years old. I knew one of my challenges was people taking me serious, when it's age, and so age can sometimes be an issue. Gender can sometimes be an issue. And you know what? It's not, I don't believe that it's an actual issue. I think that sometimes based on how we feel and how we think, we make it an issue.
Yes. Yeah. Because sometimes we take something and we can, as the old saying, you make a mountain out of a molehill,
Exactly.
And we escalate it, and it's really not that big of an issue, like you said. So it is the mindset. And that's another thing that I don't speak on it directly, but you get it when you read my chapter.
Exactly.
I had to change. And one of the things I had to change was also my mind, because in order for behavioral change to take place, the mind, you got to start with the mind.
Right.
So yes, it is always the mind. Yes.
Absolutely.
You're so right.
Absolutely. And that's how we get ahead, by learning, especially in today's society where, we were coming out of a COVID pandemic, and so many people's just habits have been changed, either for the better or for the worse. Because I know for me, I had to learn to grow and step out of my comfort zone. I'm used to going to Starbucks and just minding my own business and simply working on my computer, working on marketing, working on different projects. And so when everything just shut down, that was not there. And so imagine all the people that have gone through a situation where maybe perhaps they lost their jobs, or they're looking to really do something different, where right now it's the entrepreneur age.
Yes, it is.
Yes. And then what is one of the biggest things, Janera, that you can say that people will take away after they read this book? What's one of the biggest takeaways from your perspective, whether it be from your story or or perhaps maybe other stories that are out there within that book?
I feel like the biggest takeaway would be, whether you're an entrepreneur or if you're someone who's thinking, you're on the fence about it, this book will motivate you to push forward. If you're an entrepreneur and you're going through something, or you're doubting yourself, because we go through that, right?
Right.
If you're going through that self-doubt or whatever, the stories are going to push you.
Exactly.
If you're sitting on the fence and you're like, okay, I don't know if I should do this,
Right.
Everybody else is doing it, but I don't know if I'm going to be successful. Read the story. You're going to feel the push. You're going to feel the push, because you're going to see how, in spite of whatever the trials and tribulations that any of the authors in the book speak on along their journey, they kept on anyway. And that, I'm almost positive that when you read the story, it's going to give you that, you know what, she did that, or the person can relate to the story, and it's going to push them. So they're going to feel the push to go forward.
Wow.
No matter from what position they are in right now, they're going to feel the push.
That is amazing. And why don't you tell some of our audience, or our audience, as to how can they get in contact with you? What's a good social media that they can follow you in case they are looking for some additional tips, or maybe they want to work with you? What's the best way to connect with you?
Yes, I am actually on LinkedIn, and my handle on LinkedIn is Credit Journey LLC, and it's actually the same thing on Facebook, or you could just put the Credit Journey LLC and I'll pop up there. LinkedIn is the same thing, the Credit Journey LLC, and then if you want to email me, it's info@thecreditjourneyllc.com. And then we also have the website, www.thecreditjourneyllc.com. thecreditjourneyllc.com. So there's so many different ways that I can be reached, and you can get the help that you need for tips, support. Even if you just need somebody to listen, just to point you in a direction, we're here to help and serve.
Absolutely. And for those of you guys, I'm going to post those on the comments below on the information for this video. And I will also make sure that they're popping up on our video throughout this particular journey of us explaining and sharing what we have to offer here. But, one of the biggest things also, Janera, is that we take everybody's time. So everybody's time is so valuable today that, we're always getting busy. So we always have to make time for that. And so, I appreciate for you to get in this or to come with us in this journey of this podcast so you can share this amazing and beautiful information. And, one of the, if somebody wants to work with you, Janera, how do they work? Like, is it typically more about a one-on-one? Do you have any courses out there? What are some of the things that you can offer?
Right. Yes. A lot of it is one-on-one, even if they do a program. So I have a program out called the Career Moms Roadmap to Money Success. If they want to participate in that, they can, or just work one-on-one. Because, in my business, what I've learned, everybody's money story is different. Every client is not going to come to me the same. So that means every need is going to be different.
Right.
So a lot of times people might think they need one thing, but it's actually something else, which is why I love to do the free 30-minute consultation and just listen to the client.
Right.
In my listening, I can hear what's needed. But a lot of times we think there's one thing, like I said, and it's another. So I will always encourage first to do the free 30-minute consultation with me. I mean, what can you lose from that? But I promise when they do a free 30-minute conversation with me, they're going to walk away with something.
Amazing.
Guarantee it. Absolutely. I guarantee that they're going to walk away with something.
Yes. And we have a goal of reaching millions of entrepreneurs. And it doesn't mean that millions of people are just simply going to go through myself or even through Janera, but it means that we're going to make an impact. And so I encourage you guys to help us by simply going to the website. And again, we'll post the website on this video so that you can get a copy of your book. And you can take a look at all the amazing stories from all these wonderful entrepreneurs that they have to share because they're looking to help you and help all of us grow.
Yes.
Yes. Do you have any other messages or any message right now, Janera, that before we complete the podcast?
Yes, and I want to say this because I wouldn't be a good entrepreneur or businesswoman if I didn't. I want to say one, thank you to you for the opportunity. And I also want to say thank you to Hero Publishing, which is another female-owned, operated business who produced the book. The lead author in the book is Erica Perry Green. And if it wasn't for her and her vision, none of this would have happened. So I definitely want to acknowledge her and her company for doing this and for allowing our voices and stories to be heard.
I love it. I love it. And thank you so much for joining us again. So you heard it here, you guys. Grab a copy of your book. It is going to be absolutely one of the best investments that you've definitely done in 2021. And it's going to prepare you for 2022. And so you want to learn and you want to grow and you want to expand your mind, create that winning mindset, and you got to be hungry, just like my mentor and friend Les Brown says. And this is a perfect way for you to satisfy your hunger for success and for a lot of knowledge. So having said that, you guys, thank you so much for joining us today. We will be doing way more podcasts with more guests as well. If you have any questions or if you would like to talk to us about going ahead and reaching out to Janera, also send us a message, and I would go ahead and share that information with you so that you can contact Janera and work with her. Thank you so much, Janera. I appreciate you as always, and we're so much looking forward to being a part of your story.
All right. Thank you so much. You have a great day.
Thank you. Bye-bye.